Good morning, sixth graders. This video is to help you work out worksheet 7.2.2a for science on Tuesday and Wednesday, March 31st and April 1st. Just a quick note, make sure you're on WS worksheet 7.2.2a, not lab. That's a different thing. You want to be on the paper that's a chart of all the inner planets. Okay, I'm going to go over with you how to find the circumference, because you have to answer a question about flying around the equator of your planet. You also have to find the weight of a suitcase and your age. So I'm going to do each one of these with you one time using Mercury. That's your first column on the left. In front of me, I have my lab manual open to WS722A, and I also have the directions that are printed in RenWeb on Tuesday, and they might be on Wednesday. I can't see right now to know for sure. But you might want to have those things out in front of you because I'll be referring to them. All right, first let's look at calculating for how long it would take to fly around the equator at 900 kilometers per hour. So I'm actually on the second page of the lab manual. You have to flip it to the back side. And in order to know how long it would take to fly around the equator, you have to know what the circumference of the planet is. We haven't done circumference in math yet. I hope that we'll get to it before the end of the school year. But I'm going to teach you here how to do it. To find the circumference of any circle, or in this case a sphere, spherish shape, you multiply pi times the diameter. You can also multiply it by the squared radius, but 2 times the radius, but we're not going to do that today. So because we're told the diameter of the different planets. All right, so this is the formula that we need. By the way, pi is 3.14, and you will want to use a calculator for this. Okay, so the circumference of Mercury, into the calculator you would type 3.14 times the diameter of Mercury. So how do we know what the diameter of Mercury is? Well, you will need to have your book out as well. Each inner planet has a little fact box in 7.2.2. The one for Mercury is on page 369, and it tells us that the diameter is 4,879 kilometers. So that is what you're going to type into your calculator. And when you do, you should do that now, please. I'm doing it also. You should get 15,320, and you can put 0.06 if you want to. Okay, that is how to find the circumference. Okay, but the question that you have to answer for the workbook is, how long will it take to fly around that distance, this circumference? So for Mercury, how long will it take me to cover 15,320 kilometers if I'm flying 900 kilometers per hour? So we have a rate here, covering distance with speed. Okay, we've done this part in math before, but you're basically going to divide the circumference by 900 kilometers. Again, use your calculator. You should just hit the divide key, and you will see that it will take you 17 hours because you're flying at so many kilometers per hour. Okay? That's how you answer that question in the worksheet 7.2.2. All right, let's try a different one. Let me clear this off. And again, if you need to, just replay the video, plug in the different numbers for the other 3 planets. And also, we'll be doing the outer planets after spring break. Excuse me. All right, second one. Looking again at RenWeb, it says to find the weight of a 20 kilogram suitcase on the planet, we're going to do Mercury again, you need to know the percent of Earth's gravity on that planet. And it tells you in your workbook to look at the 3rd row down, but you also are going to have to go back to the book and see what the surface gravity is compared to Earth's. And the book tells us that Mercury's weight, if something on Mercury has 38% of the weight that it would have on the Earth for every 100 kilograms of Earth's weight. So 38 kilograms on Mercury to 100 kilograms on the Earth. Okay, so we have a ratio here. All right, still reading in RenWeb, it says to use the following ratio, Earth weight over planet percentage, and I believe I have that flipped here on my board. For example, Mercury's weight is 38% of Earth's, or for every 100 kilograms on Earth, Mercury is 38 kilograms. Now, you can do it either way. I just happen to be reading in a different place and put Mercury on top. Remember, the key is that when you set up the other ratio, you keep them the same. So don't flip on the other one and put Earth on the top if you started with Mercury on the top. Okay? So keeping on reading with the RenWeb example, to solve the suitcase problem for Mercury, I would set up this proportion. And then I did it the way I just told you. 38 over 100 equals trying to figure out the weight of the suitcase on Mercury. So this is our variable. And knowing that on the Earth, it would weigh 20 kilograms. Then you cross multiply. Again, feel free to use a calculator. 38 times 20 is 760 equals 100x. And you know that anytime you divide by 100, you're just moving the decimal twice. Okay? So a 20 kilogram suitcase on the Earth would weigh 7.6 kilograms on Mercury. Okay, that's how you do the weight of a suitcase. Again, my recommendation would be if you're having a hard time following all of that, just replay the video, but use the information for the other 3 inner planets. Last one. Reading from RenWeb. To solve the last box on your age on the planet, use this equation. And it says 365 days. So we're talking about on the Earth. Okay, that's our rotation. Over the number of days in the period of revolution for the planet. So looking back on page 369 in the book, it tells us the number of revolution. The period is 88 days, and we are talking about Mercury, so I'm going to set my ratio up so I know which number goes on top and which one goes on bottom. All right, so I have that part of the equation. Times, that's what that big X is, the age of the student in years. And then it says in RenWeb, the X is for multiply. For example, if you are 11, okay, if you're 12, you need to put a 12. But I'm assuming that most of you are 11. You're all having birthdays now, so you might be 12. Just put that in the numerator and work out this multiplication problem, okay, which is spelled out for you there in RenWeb. The equation would be 365 over 88 times 11 over 1. And when you use the calculator, to figure out that multiplication problem, you would find out if you're 11 that on Mercury you would be 45.6 or 45 and a half basically Mercury years old. Okay? If you're just thoroughly confused, feel free to send me an email and I'll try to offer you some more assistance. But my recommendation is for doing the other 3 inner planets, and next couple of weeks from now doing the outer planets, you just come back to this video, play it, plug in the right numbers, and you should be able to solve those 3 parts of the chart. All right, enjoy working on your inner planet. I'm looking forward to seeing your finished products on Friday. Have a great week.